saw her go down the path, the dog at her heels. She looked back once, then she went. I never saw her again.
Thank you.
So why do you do your job then, Catherine?
Oh, because I think there are stories that need to be told.
Alison's story's already been told.
Oh, has it then?
What do you mean?
She was never found. That lost girl. Anyway, I don't like secrets.
So you fed it to me? Go on, then. Ask me a question.
Is it possible? Is it conceivable that the evidence could have been falsified to get a conviction on Hawking? Could George have faked those photographs?
Well, I can't believe it, Catherine.
Inspector Bennett, please.
How many missing child cases have you actually done, Inspector?
This is my first.
Oh, your first? Tell me, how often were you alone in the manor house?
Hardly at all.
Hardly at all? Or never?
There were probably a few occasions.
Were you alone in Alison's bedroom?
Yes.
How long for?
I don't know. Half, 3/4 of an hour?
Why so long?
I wanted to get a sense of her.
Were you alone in Mr. Hawkins' darkroom?
Yes.
How long for?
15, 20 minutes. I was waiting to see if my sergeant could find a key to the safe.
And you didn't help him?
I didn't want to leave the dark room unsupervised.
Who did, in fact, find the key?
I did.
So it was in the darkroom all the time?
Yes.
What are your hobbies?
So Highsmith cross-examines Bennett about his background.
What do you mean?
Well, I'll read it to you. Highsmith, what are your hobbies, Inspector? Bennett, I play cricket, go fell walking. Highsmith, haven't you missed one out?
Weren't you secretary to your school's camera club and treasurer of the Manchester University Photographic Society?
Yes.
So, isn't photography a hobby?
I suppose so.
In fact, you're an expert. You know how to take photographs, develop and print them.
Yes.
Now, here's the juicy bit. Highsmith asks if Hawkins' photos could have been faked.
And what did he say? Technically, yes, but I think it's extremely difficult.
Do you know how to fake photographs yourself, Inspector?
Objection, my lord. This is insinuation. The defence is maligning a police officer without a scrap of evidence.
Sustained. Please disregard the question.
And then Sampson goes on to order the jury to disregard the question. It's odd, isn't it?
Most judges would instinctively support the police.
Yes, but the issue of fake photographs was raised.
Then buried.
What kind of camera, in your opinion, was used to take these photos?
Well, it'd have to be a portrait camera, a Bronica, or a Rolleiflex.
Do you possess such a camera?
My lord, here we go again.
Sustained.
Catherine must have learned that the photos could have been faked. That George might have been responsible. And that's why she's gone chasing him.
But we can't prove anything because all the evidence has gone up in flames.
We can post the question, though.
Do you believe my client is guilty?
I believe what the evidence tells me.
But isn't there an alternative explanation for every single piece of evidence?
No one that makes sense.
Doesn't your obsession with Alison Carter make sense of them?
What do you mean?
Were you obsessed with Alison Carter?
There's your motive for murder there, sir.
What do you see when you look at her, George?
I was obsessed with finding her.
But you didn't. You were an ambitious policeman with the eyes of the country on you. You couldn't afford to fail. So you had to find someone to blame.
You're right. I didn't find her. Instead, I found evidence of her rape and her murder, and that led me to Philip Hawking.
I have no further questions.
Recut the film. Get a camera crew over to Morton and get an interview with Bennett. Push him. Challenge him on these questions.
OK, but what about Catherine?
Let me worry about Catherine.
So what are you going to do?
Go back to Scarsdale, talk to the villagers.
They'll not talk to you.
Why not?
Because they love George. They trust him.
That's why you're coming with me.
Eh?
Well, they trust George. I trust you too.
I'm not going anywhere. Why don't you just leave it alone?
Sorry. Keith, hi.
Catherine, you're off the film.
What?
You lied to me, Catherine.
Keith, what are you talking about? You can't do that.
Yes, I can.
Keith, please, listen, just...
I've listened more than I should.
Yes, but just give me one more day, I swear.
And all the time I'm going to give you. Bye, Catherine.
What is it, Mum?
Just been fired.
My heart bleeds.
Oh, you don't get it, do you? The film will still be made. It'll be made by people who don't give a damn about George. And believe me, destroying George will make much better television than praising him.
Were you obsessed with Alison Carter?
No, you cannot film Mr. Bennett.
Look, Dr. Panacea, I'm here because George Bennett is being accused of some really serious stuff, and I just want to let him put his side of the story.
I am here because George Bennett is seriously ill. The only story I care about is whether he lives or dies.
Please have the city major resident through to X-ray senior radiologist. Thank you.
Margaret. Margaret Bennett. Remember me? Nicola Curry. I've heard what's happened to George. I'm so sorry. Keith Slocum sent me up here specifically to see if there's anything we could do for you or George.
Yes. Stay away.
Yeah, no, I understand, really. It's just that, well, I hate to say this, but Catherine Heathcote is on something of a tear.
What do you mean?
She claims she's got some information about George. Apparently it's rather disturbing.
What information?
That he may have doctored evidence in the Alison Carter case.
Not George. How can you even think?
No, it's not what I think. It's what people would think. That's why it's so important I speak to George.
Speak? He can hardly breathe.
Okay, well then, perhaps you could speak for him, you know, put his side of events. I've got a crew here, we could do it now. Catherine wouldn't give you this chance, I think you know that.
You little shit! You're not fit to clean her shoes. No, just leave us alone.
They don't like you, do they, Mr. Hawking?
How could they? All the things I'm supposed to have done.
What was your relationship with the village like before Alison disappeared?
To be honest, they disliked me then, too. I'd taken one of their own.
Ruth Carter. Why did you marry her?
She was the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen. I loved her.
What about her daughter, Alison?
And it was difficult sometimes. But I tried to be a good father. I really did.
You're trembling, Margaret.
You shouldn't talk.
What's wrong?
They're here still, the film people. That researcher woman. I'm afraid I threw my tea at her.
Waste of a good cuppa.
Hospital tea.
They want to film me again, don't they?
They say they have new information.
As if that'll make any difference.
Difference to what?
To what I've done.
Why are we here, ladies and gentlemen? Why is my client on trial? For one reason only. The zeal of Detective Inspector George Bennett. He wove a web, a brilliant web, of circumstantial evidence. And with it, he snared an innocent man. In fact, he succeeded in everything. Except the one thing he really should have. He didn't find Alison Carter.
Shame!
Silence! Or I'll clear the court.
From the bottom of my heart, I pray that Alison is alive. Indeed, for all any of us know, she could still be. She could walk back in here and tell us exactly what happened. She would point at him and she would say, "He didn't do it."
Circumstantial evidence, what does that mean? That it's ambiguous, that it doesn't prove its point. What's ambiguous about these photographs? What point don't they prove? It's child rape. Worse, it's rape memorialized, made permanent. These pictures show what he was capable of. Next to them, the act of murder seems almost kind. At least it brought that little girl's long sufferings to an end. But don't you be kind to Philip Hawking. You've seen what he did to innocents. Find him guilty.
Jury's been out 2 hours already. It's a murder trial, George. They're not going to decide in a second, are they?
Plus, they've got that George Bent Copper stuff to do with, haven't they?
Oh, come on, man. They put that to bed.
I wish I'd fitted him up. Made sure the damn case was watertight.
So, Tommy, did you never have any doubts about George?
Jury's coming back, Helen.
Members of the jury, are you agreed upon your verdict?
We are.
And how say you on count 1? The charge of rape.
Guilty.
Charge 2? The charge of murder.
Guilty.
Silence in court.
Disquiet surrounded many aspects of this case. Not only was there no body, but a tide of public protest was rising against capital punishment. The prosecution demanded that Hawkin face the ultimate penalty for the crime of which he was accused, death. But that decision would not ultimately lie with the jury. It would fall to the notorious Lord Fletcher Sampson to preside over the punishment.
Philip Hawkin, have you anything to say before sentence is passed?
Yes. I didn't kill her.
Philip Hawkin, the jury has found that you raped your stepdaughter, Alison Carter, a girl of 13, and that you subsequently murdered her. That you used a gun in the commission of this crime permits me to pronounce a sentence the law allows and that justice requires. Philip Hawkin, you shall be taken to the place from whence you came. From thence to a place of execution. And there you shall be hanged by the neck until you be dead. Afterwards your body will be buried in a common grave within the precincts of the prison. And may the Lord have mercy upon your soul.
Why did you leave so soon after the verdict?
You said I did.
George. George told me.
Well, hearing a man was going to hang was hardly a cause for celebration.
Satisfied, Inspector Bennett?
What is it, Tommy?
What did he have to hang, Catherine?
I have nothing left to lose but my life. So there's no reason for me to lie now.
Ruth showed me the letter he wrote. They're still claiming he was innocent.
Stand up.
Believe me, when I write, I have no idea what happened to Alison. I should not hang for something I have not done. But my fate is sealed because other people have lied. My death is on their conscience.
So, at 8 o'clock in the morning, on the 14th of April, 1964, the story of Alison Carter came to an end, and justice was done.
Okay. What else have you got?
So how do you want to do this?
Well, Kathy Lomas and her son Charlie are the only people still alive from that time, but they've always refused to speak to me. But I'm hoping that with you here, maybe...
Oh, to ask what?
See if they'll shed some light on what's going on with George. What really happened here. When were you last here, Tommy?
Oh, more than 40 years. What the hell's going on here?
I think that's Charlie Lomas. Stay in the car, say. Just pass me my camera, would you? Hello, Charlie. My name is Catherine Heather.
You're not welcome here. You've done enough damage.
What damage, Charlie?
You think we don't know about George being in hospital, close to dying?
Yeah,
Get out of here before you get hurt.
Who do you think you're threatening, Charlie?
Who the hell are you?
Don't you recognise me, Charlie?
Hello, Charlie. Sit down, you're not going anywhere.
Tommy Clough.
That's right.
Mum.
Where have you been?
I've been about. But now I'm back and I want to talk to you.
We've done too much talking. Especially to her.
No.
So get back in the car.
Mum.
Go!
I'm here to help you. I'm here to help Why don't you run a bath? And then we'll go and get ourselves something to eat. Okay? I'm sorry about today. I'm sorry about everything, actually.
It's two different things.
Well, I'm sorry about everything. And today. I've taken you to places you shouldn't have gone. And showed you things you shouldn't have seen. And haven't taken you into account. And I'm really sorry. But I wish I'd got my camera out.
Why?
Because if I'd had my camera out, they might not have attacked us. My camera's my shield. Lets me look without being seen.
I always saw you. I don't think you ever saw me.
Sash. I do now, darling. this is all over, I'm going to take a long break.
You'll still work?
Well, yeah. They've taken the film away from me anyway, haven't they, so...
So why are you still doing it?
Because when I got out of the car, I saw shutters open at the manor house. And anyway, the violence was telling me something.
What?
They've got something to hide.
The story of Alison's disappearance transfixed the nation. It made a hero of the policeman who solved the crime, and it sent the supposed culprit, Philip Hawkin, to his death by hanging. But sensational new evidence now throws the entire police investigation into doubt. Did they hang an innocent man?
Tommy.
It's all right.
Mum, please, do this. It's only a day. In fact, it's only half a day, really.
I suppose I'll have to come by rail.
Yeah, well, I'll book your train ticket for you. I'll have a taxi meet you at the station.
Okay, if it's that important.
Oh, thanks.
But please, not before 8.
Thanks very much. I'll call you later with the details. All right? Bye. Tommy, how was George?
I didn't wake up.
I may have to go out in the morning for a short while. Would you mind keeping an eye on Sasha for an hour or two?
What are you up to, Catherine?
I don't know. Really? It's like an itch I can't scratch.
Catherine? Be careful. Me and George used to come in here, you know. So, where's your mother gone to then, Sasha?
Just out for a couple of hours. At least that's what I noticed it.
And did it say where she gone? Oh, come on, Sasha. What's she up to?
Mum said that she saw shutters of the manor house open yesterday.
I knew she was hiding something. Girl, she's a piece of work.
She's not in trouble, is she?
Well, if she is, I'm sure she can handle it. But when's your gran coming?
Any minute now.
Good. A sec. What's this?
Just some stuff I did when I was a kid.
You did this?
Well, that's what Gran said.
And it was CD.
I don't know. Mum's maiden name was Duggan. I mean, Catherine Duggan.
Shit.
What are you doing here?
Kathy Lomas. I'm Catherine Heathcote. You remember me?
Yes, I know who you are. Charlie said you were here yesterday. What do you want?
I've got questions I need answers to, Kathy. Can I come in?
No, you can't. The owner doesn't like visitors. You say what you've got to say and then go.
Listen, we need your help. George Bennett is about to get torn to pieces. If you have anything to tell me, say it now.
Well, what's it got to do with us? George Bennett had a good ride out of his success at Scardale. He'll just have to take the rough with the smooth.
Even if it kills him.
Now, you started this. You didn't have to make this film. George didn't have to be part of it, so you've only got yourselves to blame. Now, you go and you leave us in peace.
Well, you won't be left in peace very long.
Well, then we'll deal with it. We've dealt with everything else.
Yes. Thanks for talking to me.
I'm sorry George was taken ill. Seemed like he was fine.
You've seen him? He was here. He was here 5 days ago. Wasn't he? Wasn't he? That's when he called me. That's when he pulled out.
Go! Get out!
What did he find here? What did he find here?
Go away.
What have you done, Kathy? What have you...
Out!
What have you done? I'm coming
Go
out.
to the door! Get out of the house! No, you can't come in! You're not allowed! Get out!
I'll tell you what happened. I'll say it only once. My mother decided I had to leave, that it was my only way out. Ma Lomas planned it all.
Right.
She bled me.
Brave girl.
Bled you?
Me, my mother, Kathy. We knew we needed a lot of blood.
Why so much?
Anything less, and the police might have thought I was still alive.
And the gun?
I stole it. From Colonel Carey's house. I worked there as a cleaner. We all played our part. Dan fired the bullets for the police to find in the mine. And Ruth hid the gun in Hawkins' study.
So the police followed your trail?
Yeah, I went to the woods with my dog Shep. I tied him up and I walked out of my own life. That was it. I was driven away. I never saw my mother again.
Where did you go?
I went to my Aunt Nancy's. She was just about to move from Manchester to Canada, and I went as their daughter, Janice. That's where Janice Carruthers has been. Until now.
Why? Why do this to Hawkin?
Because he destroyed my life.
Can you prove that?
The police proved it.
Well, they proved that you were dead. But here you are. They hanged a man for killing you, but here you are, so you prove it.
Take a look at the photos. They prove it.
Well, I can't. They're burned. Was that part of your plan?
Well, that was Charlie. When we heard you were making a film, we were worried. We thought they might go back, test the evidence, DNA.
So you were worried about the photos?
No. No, they were real. I remember every click of the camera, every flash. I remember the weight of him, the smell of him.
Can you prove it? I mean, you've lied about everything else. Can you prove it?
Follow me.
But this isn't proof.
This is.
Are they?
The children of Scardale. He had us all. There was one girl we didn't know. He would have waited till Mom and I were out.
Didn't remember. Just blanked it out. And I've spent my whole life hiding behind a camera.
Do you think your mother knew?
I don't know. Maybe.
There's your proof. The negatives are inside. George Bennett didn't fake a thing.
No, he did worse. We hung a man for a crime that he didn't commit.
He committed worse crimes, countless times.
Worse than murder. And why didn't he just say something to police, social
If our
services?
parents had said anything, those kids had been taken into care and their parents blamed. Hawking would have emptied the village.
Now, you have what you need. You go away and you leave us alone.
It is not as simple as that. You conspired to commit murder. I mean, what do you think we're supposed to do with that knowledge, me and her? And what about George? I mean, he's an honourable man. What's he going to do when he finds out?
He already has, hasn't he?
It was an accident. I just got here. I was outside.
Excuse me.
He knew me instantly. I couldn't speak. I've been so careful for so long.
And what did he do?
He didn't say a word. He just walked away. Well, you do what you've got to do, what you need to do. I've been hiding all my life. It's time to stop.
It's not just you, Alison. What about us? Our kids and their kids.
We all knew the risk. Catherine, he would never have stopped. Never have been caught.
I feel just like Alison. Walking out of my own life.
Never into a better one.
Sasha doesn't know, does she?
I think she might have worked it out.
Like me. Are you going to talk to George?
I think that it would be better if you talked to me.
Thank you, Tommy.
I told you not to go digging.
But I did. Let's go home.
Catherine, so we couldn't meet in the office?
I thought I'd save you the embarrassment. After all, I have been fired.
You gave me no choice.
Well, I'm giving you one now. George Bennett didn't fake the Alison Carter photos.
Jesus. Who are they?
The children of Scardale. You can have the negatives analysed if you like.
Reinstate the film. And if you want to include this in material, you can. What is this?
Open it. Her name is Catherine Duggan.
Who?
It's me.
Catherine, I'm so sorry. I have to ask, where did you find these?
From Alison Carter.
Sorry?
From Alison Carter.
She's alive?
Mm-hmm.
You saw her, you actually spoke to her? This is incredible. Can we talk to her? We've got to get her on film.
I think this story might be over, Keith.
Why are you giving these pictures to me if you want me to bury it? Whatever happened to Catherine Heathcote, renowned seeker of the truth?
Don't you think this might just be a case where truth and justice are not the same thing. This is going to have to be your choice, Keith. I'm putting myself, all of us, in your hands.
Cardiology, can I help you? Hold on just a moment. Miss, who am I speaking to, please? Just a moment.
Tomorrow at 10, Alison has special powers. She's in touch with forces from beyond the grave. Afterlife is back here on ITV3. The engagement begins and our likeable lovebirds are determined not to let anything spoil their happiness. William and Mary is next.